I being too mean for aggressively kicking my friend out of my home after she let my mom's dog on my bed? I'm not particularly fond of dogs, but even more so, I abhor irresponsible and entitled dog owners or enthusiasts. Those individuals who become irate when you decline to interact with their canine companion, or those who fail to comprehend and accept that you do not desire any association with dogs. Recently, I formed a friendship in college, and we agreed to visit one another after having spent some time getting to know each other. We were conversing in my room about the upcoming update for a game we both enjoy, and my mother's dog, who will never learn to desist from jumping onto visitors, entered and began to initiate contact with my friend by scratching her leg and begging for attention. Immediately, I pointed towards the direction outside. I had previously trained all the dogs to retreat if I directed them away, but I no longer have the time or energy to train animals that are not even mine. However, my friend seized the dog and began lifting it up. I instructed her to please refrain from placing the dog on my bed, and she proceeded to do so while inquiring as to why. I facepalmed, genuinely embarrassed for her, informed her that she could not simply pose, "Why not?" questions while disregarding my request. Subsequently, I explained to her that I do not want any animals on my bed, regardless of their cleanliness or otherwise. Please note that my mother consistently acquires dogs and fails to provide them with walks or baths. Instead, she merely cuddles with them and barely meets the minimum requirements for pet care. These dogs also have a tendency to roll around in excrement. I attempted to remove the dog from my bed, but she persisted in holding onto it and keeping it on my bed. From this point forward, the dog began to release a messy, stinky splattery stool on my freshly cleaned sheets, plushies, and pillow that I had scrubbed just 2 days prior. At this juncture, I lost my composure and bellowed at my friend to depart from the premises. This ordeal persisted for an extended duration before she finally departed after I began threatening to summon law enforcement, assuming that I would incur significant trouble if I were to forcibly remove her from my home. When my mother returned home, she inquired about my whereabouts. I recounted the events of the evening, and she advised me that I was overreacting and suggested that I could simply launder my sheets. I responded by emphasizing that the issue transcended mere cleanliness. It was instead an affront to respect, entitlement, and the lack of consideration exhibited under a roof that is not hers. Last, I just need to solicit other people's thoughts on this matter. As it stands, I am exhausted at 1:00 a.m. in the morning while waiting to complete the arduous task of cleaning up the aftermath. Additionally, I am endeavoring not to make any noise and avoid awakening my light sleeping mother. Yes, I am currently saving to relocate.